All right, guys, I got another update, the latest update with the Sharon situation. Man, so let me see. As you guys know, if you watched the Bible study, you watched the devotional, that Sharon was tested positive as she was about to be released today to a rehab where they were going to give her more physical therapy to strengthen her muscles, but she wasn't been able to release because she tested positive, which is crazy because when she went in, admitting her to the hospital, she tested negative. So somehow her laying in the bed, not moving around, got exposed to COVID, which is upsetting. So she had this Foley in, which basically it's a pipe where you pee through, because she had no functionality of her stomach area all the way down to her knees. Nothing was working. It was like paralyzed. She couldn't feel it, so she couldn't use the bathroom at all. Nothing. It was just dead. And so yesterday, they tell her she's tested positive, and they got to send her to the fourth floor where the COVID wing is at. And they basically said I had to leave. I mean, not right away. I stuck around, helped her pack her stuff, and I couldn't come back and visit her. And the rehab wouldn't take her because she's now positive of COVID. And they take her upstairs and put her in a room with another COVID patient that is coughing and coughing and coughing with their lungs full. So Sharon was upset. And that pipe in her to help her pee was causing discomfort and pain. She's telling the nurse, this needs to come out. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. They're not saying anything to her. They're not explaining nothing to her. They're not anything. They were late on her pain medication. She basically felt like they put her in the COVID section and just left her there. Like, that's it. Like, boom, you're on your own. She's supposed to, the reason she was going to be released today was to get physical therapy for 3 hours a day. And now and what kind of therapy is she going to get? She can't even get a nurse to even answer her. And I was upset. She was upset. They weren't listening to her. Sharon's like, you got to call, So I make the call the hospital. I want to talk to somebody in charge. I ended up talking to the floor supervisor of that floor she was on. And I'm like, listen, I got some questions. My wife is in there. I don't know what's going on. I have some questions, And so they're like, yeah, sure. What's wrong? What's going on, And I'm like, well, number one, that Foley needs to come out. She's been telling the nurse all this time that it's causing her discomfort. She's pretty sure she can go to the bathroom on her own. Like, that thing needs to be taken out, and she's not getting any answer. Second, is there a way to test her again twice? Because I don't trust that test. And let's say it was a false positive. Well, now you stuck her in a room with somebody that is positive and coughing in that room. And third, I said, I want to pick up my wife today. I want her discharged today, and I want to bring her home because there's no way she's going to get 3 hours of physical therapy there. She might as well be home. If she tested positive, okay, that means I've been with her all this time. So we will self-quarantine ourselves. She has no symptoms at all, so there's no reason for her to be in that hospital. The lady was very apologetic, said, let me look at her file. And we talked a little bit more about some of the issues. She answered each of the questions. Within 10 minutes, the doctor went to talk to Sharon and said, listen, if we're going to take this thing out, if you can pee on your own, then I'll discharge you. And Sharon's like, all right, And so she's peed on her own, So she has full functionality now of her intestinal tract. And then physical therapy went over there, talked to her a little bit, see what was going on, what she was doing. And he's like, yeah, you're strong enough. I'm gonna recommend that you be discharged. So all of that stuff to say this is that, number one, let me back up a little bit. We were so upset at all of this happening. And this morning, and I think Sharon came to this conclusion on her own too. I came to this conclusion, but I think she had already came to the conclusion of, I've been so concerned about myself, and here this lady can't even breathe, suffering of COVID. And I love my wife, man. You know what she did? She put worship music on and started to intercede and pray for this woman, because obviously if the Lord allowed her to be put in a COVID unit and there's somebody there suffering with COVID, well, guess what? We're the ones that have the answer. We have Christ. And she began to intercede for this woman that couldn't even speak. Her lungs were full and she was coughing and it was just gunk, and she started interceding for her. Today, that woman is talking and she feels a lot better, and it's like, sometimes when we're in situations, we tend to kind of isolate and make it about ourselves. But we got to remember that our ways are not the Lord's way, and the way we do things isn't the way God does things. And so she just called me and they're discharging her to me. So I'm make a quick little lunch breakfast, because they said it's going to take, about an hour and a half. And I'm only like 45 minutes away. So I have a little bit of time to do this video, make myself some eggs real quick and head that way, and I just want to thank you for your prayers. I went and got tested a little while ago. Abraham and Matthew they're getting tested right now. They left. Their appointment was an hour after mine to get tested. I get results. But we're still going to self-quarantine. I'm not sure if Sharon is decided to retest out here, because they won't do it in there. I'm going to suggest to her that she just get retested herself. But we are going to self-quarantine. Pastor Sal from the Los Angeles area is going to be preaching. He's a guest speaker. He's going to be preaching regardless on Sunday. So he's going to be preaching on Sunday. I'm going to talk to the team in a Zoom and just get Sunday situated. Everything's going to be good. Everything's going to be great. And we'll just keep giving you updates. So I just want to thank you for your prayers, man. God is so good. Sharon is feeling great. If she is positive, she has no symptoms at all. She feels great. Pertaining to any COVID symptoms, she's still slow and stuff because of the situation of why she went to the hospital. But man, just I learned something today, and I thank God that Sharon told me. She's like, David, you're my husband. These people aren't listening to me. You have a voice. Call this hospital, and I'm just like, well, who am I? What am I gonna do, But she's right. That's my wife, and it's like, if I don't put my foot down, who will, and so guys, if it's a life and death situation for a family member and they're in the hospital, you got to speak up and don't talk to just the nurse. Just go to the staff, the people that are really in charge at the hospital, and let your voice be heard. So, all right, guys, God bless you. And thank you for watching this update.